The tears, they flowed. And I kept questioning myself, like, what am I doing here? Who sent you come this country? Who sent you? For just day your asshole. For just day your papa country. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel today. If you're new here, thank you, you're very welcome. And if you're old, thanks for stopping by once again. So today's video is going to be a story time, and this story is going to be about my first experience when I first got to Canada. My master's program was 1 year, and so I've been here for like a year and 3 months or so. If you want to hear the rest of the story, stick around, don't go anywhere. And also, while we're waiting, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please help grow my channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please subscribe. It's a bell like button down below. So without further ado, let's get right into the story. I recently graduated from my master's program in public health, like sometime last month. I got my admission sometime in like April, May last year. I can't really remember, but one of the 2 months. So after I got my admission, I applied for a visa, and we all know how hard it is to get a Canadian visa. I was supposed to start school first week of September, and last week of August, I had not gotten my visa. So at that point, I was like 80% sure that I was going to have to defer my admission to the following year because the visa was not coming, and it was mandatory to attend the first week of school, which was first week of September, and it was like 10 days away. Last week of August, I got a mail that my visa was approved and everything. I was excited. But I don't think at that point, looking back now, I don't think at that point I understood what all of that meant. Like, my life was going to change at that point. Like, I was literally going to leave like my friends, my family, my everything, like just going away to a strange man's land. I'm coming, let me just here. So when I got my visa, I had to like travel back home to like arrange my stuff, book my flight ticket, and which was really expensive because of the short time duration. I was really tensed. I left Nigeria early September, and that was like 2 days before school started. It was a long ass flight. So I landed in Toronto, and I was really sick, so I was really cranky all the way. I spent the night in a friend's house in Toronto, and my school is not in Toronto, it's actually in London, Ontario, which is like 2 hours away from Toronto, and the name of my school is the University of Western Ontario. So after spending the night at a friend's place, the next day I hopped on a bus, left for London. It was like a 2 hour drive. And then when I got to London, I already booked an Airbnb with this amazing couple. Checked into my Airbnb, and that day was a public holiday. It was Labor Day, so a lot of things were not open, so I couldn't really get much done. And the next day was school. Like, I had to start school the next day. I didn't even have a SIM card, a bank account, nothing. I was just like in limbo at that point. I was like, what's going on? Like, so the next day I had to like quickly get like a SIM card, open a bank account, and then still go to school. So the couple I stayed with, they helped me out. They took me around town like just to get the basic stuff, and then they took me off to school. They're like, looking back now, they're like my grandparents I never had. So I got to school and I walked into class. I was really shy. I had to walk through like a crowd of people, and I was like the second to last person to arrive in school that day. The last person was in Nigeria, because we had to like introduce ourselves, everyone, and say why you're here. At that point, I was even asking myself like, why are you here? Why are you here? But anyways, I just said something just to get over that question. And mind you, at that point, I was sick in my stomach because I was kind of like jet lagged, and I was still getting sick from the food I was eating because everything tasted so bland. And then after school, I started like house hunting, but it took me like almost 2 weeks to finally get a place. And all the while I kept staying and spending money at my Airbnb, which was really far away from school. So commuting to school was it was one hell of a journey. And then I knew I used to like hop on buses and use my Google Maps. Fam, I got lost. I can't even count the number of times I got lost. Like, Google Map would say turn left, you're turning left, you're entering a bush, or turn right, you're entering someone's house. At some point it got so frustrating, and I remember one time I just started crying on the road, and someone was like, are you okay? I was like, don't worry, you understand. Like, I wept. Like, oh my goodness. I even forgot to add that where I stayed in my Airbnb was a basement apartment. Like, my unit was a basement, and that was my first time staying in a basement, and it was like a prison. It was cold and lonely down there. So After staying there for like the first 2 nights, I remember one night I just started crying. I couldn't even help it. Like, I was like, why are you crying? I was like, I don't know, I'm just crying. And then if I call my friends back home and I just hear their voice, I would just like break down and in tears and crying, like legit cry. Look at that, like ugly cry. And I feel like one of the reasons why I was crying a lot because of where I was staying was really depressing. Fam, don't stay in a basement. It's depressing. Don't stay. And it's really cold too. I was also getting frustrated because landlords were asking for credit scores, references, and I'm new to this country. I don't know anybody. I don't have any credit card. But things kind of got better when my fellow Nigerian came, which was the last person to resume. He's a guy actually. So when he came, we started house hunting together. At least I had someone that I could relate with, you know. So I followed him to like look at some houses one day, and coincidentally, the house they had like a unit for girls and a unit for guys. So, and there was a room, so I got that room and he got the guys section. At least that was off the table. And mind you, while I was house hunting, school activities were still going on, and so I was kind of like lagging behind. I think one of the things that affected me the most was culture shock. That was the first time I knew there was something called culture shock. You know when something hits you in the face and you're like, what? So when I finally got a place to stay, the couple I've been staying with for the past few days, they helped move my stuff, brought me food, blanket and everything. They walked me to my room, hugged and kissed me goodbye. They were so sweet. I had really nice roommates, and then I had to focus on schoolwork. Schoolwork. Fam. See, you know that saying they used to say, no go, no. I felt it. Like, I felt it. See, the education system here, it's totally different from everything I've ever experienced in my whole life. In my whole short 25 years. Like, see, the way they learn, everything is different. I mean, it's good, but... And for the fact that I came for a graduate program, so they were not like spoon-feeding you, like, oh, teaching you. Like, I had this one class that the professor did something called a flipped classroom, where we had to go and study the material and come back and teach the class. And he would watch and maybe like ask questions along the line. Okay, just imagine going to read something you don't know and coming back to teach the class something you don't know. And it's called a learning process. But anyways, I survived. That's all I can say. I also forgot to add that we did a lot of writing. Like, the assignments were mainly like writing papers. Guys, like, if you don't know how to write, like me, I felt like Nigeria really like messed my brain up, like in the aspect of writing, because they don't teach us how to write. And some people are natural born writers, but I feel like they should have incorporated some like writing courses now at high school and elementary school. But any small thing, right. I remember the first assignment they gave us, but to write like one page. I wrote like 3 lines and I was like, I'm done. See, if you don't know how to write, you're in for it. When I applied to the school, they mentioned that the program is pretty intensive. They kept like reiterating like the program is intensive. I was like, what are you saying? Like, Nigerians were intense. Fam, the program was intensive because it's usually 2 years, but this school they compressed it to 1 year. So I had classes like literally every day. You can't even afford to skip classes. I remember there was a time in October because I was ill at that point and I wasn't really having it. Like, I was just tired and frustrated at that point. I remember you're only allowed to skip a particular number of class for a specific course, and I already skipped a couple of days. When I say I've skipped a couple of days, like 3 days. It's not like I've skipped 1 week ago. I got a mail and they were like, if you skip any more classes, you are advised to withdraw from the program. I was like, say what? I had to buckle up in my sickness and I went to class. So one other thing I found strange was that you get graded by your classmates. Like, out of 100% of your marks, 30% belongs to your classmates, and in that 30% is split into 2, so 15% for your classmate and the other 15% for your team, because we were put in like a group of 5 or 6 people. So everything is based on your team. So in that 30%, breaking it down again, 15% for your class. So in a class, you're supposed to top, you're supposed to contribute to every class. Like every class. If you don't say anything in that class, like it's not even just you saying anything. Whatever you say has to be meaningful. If you don't say anything meaningful in that class, you're getting a 0 in that class. So just imagine trying to settle down, trying to understand what you're saying. Sometimes it feels like they're speaking a different language in class. I'm always like, huh? Huh? Like, I was lost most of the time at the beginning. And then they expect you to contribute. So at the initial phase, I was getting like a lot of zeros. And I was also shy. Like, we're a class of like 57. And I'm not used to talking in public. Like, public speaking, it wasn't my thing. So I just find it strange that I'll pay my tuition. My mark is in somebody's hand. I was angry. I won't lie, I was angry, but the way it's done, everyone gets a chance to mark. Like, it can be your turn to mark the whole class that day. Like, if someone says something that you like, that makes sense to you, you can give the person like 1, 2, or 3. If someone is absent, you give the person an A, like A for absence. If someone is like distracting the class, you can give the person a -1. And I was like, I found that really strange, because why should we have the power to take away someone's mark? But anyways, that was how it was done, and that's what we signed up for. Another thing that was really challenging for me was that we did a lot of assignments and presentations, guys. See, I cannot even like explain or count the number of assignments and presentations we did. I struggle with that part because I'm a really shy person, like very shy. But this school, they smacked the shyness out of me like this, like basketballs. They smacked it out of me. Like, literally 2 or 3 times a week, you are presenting in front of the class. So I had to just get over the shyness, and But looking back now, I think it was for the best. So I'm able to like speak in front of people, not like a large crowd, but a particular number of people. And look at me talking in front of YouTube. So another thing that I found really amazing was that the people in my class, they were so smart. Like, I was amazed by how smart they are, because I don't think I've ever been in a room filled with so much smart people within my age. I was like, yo, like, sometimes the kind of questions they ask the professors, I'm like, how on earth did you think of that? Like, how did your mind wander so far? Also, there were times that in class I get so frustrated, I used to cry, but my classmates never really noticed I was crying, so I would just like cover my face. The tears, they flowed. And I kept questioning myself, like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing here? Because we had this name plaque in front of us. I kept staring at my name in front of me. I'm like, who's saying you come this place? Who's saying you come? See, I can't count the number of times I questioned myself. Like, my mental health was in trouble because I was always so sad. I was scared that I might be slipping into depression. I was always so sad. I was crying the whole time. I always find myself crying uncontrollably. Like, I wouldn't even be doing anything, but tears would just be flowing. Because, so looking back now, I would say I was really homesick and I wasn't having it. I just wanted to go back home. I remember there were lots of times I used to look at flight tickets to go back to Nigeria. I was just looking at it like, can't I just, go back on one weekend and come back? But I couldn't. I would say I started catching up to things after I saw my first midterm grade, and it was horrible. I knew like I had to buckle up. I had to like smack out of it and get my game on. I also had midterm exams coming up, and the course material to read was like really bulky, and I didn't even understand anything inside. But I knew that I had to read. Like, failure was not an option. But at the end of the day, I passed. I was really happy. So I think when I passed that exam, that's when I knew like, okay, it's not as hard as you think. It's just in your mind. If you put the hard work, you'll come out successful. Another major challenge I had was the cold. Guys, Canada is cold. Canada is cold. Like, it is freaking cold. You know, when you're looking for something in your freezer, like something like hidden at the bottom, and you're searching for it, and it gets to that point where your hand starts to hurt because it's too cold, and you bring it out to like warm up a bit. That's the feeling. Yeah, that's how your whole body feels during the winter when you're outside. So there's some mornings that I would just open my door and you have like this huge pile of snow in front of your door. I'll just tell myself like, you sure said I'll go class today. But after getting that warning mail, I had to trek inside the snow. Like, we trekked inside that snow. See, It's not only sun that you're seeing me wearing sleeveless. So outside, it's really cold. Like if I want to go out, I have to wear layers of clothes. Like it's just even November and it's snowing. I remember last February, guys, it got to -40 something. They had to cancel school that day. I miss being able to wear a t-shirt outside. Like I miss that hot sun. You know, that sun you guys always complain about. God, I would do anything for that sun right now. Like I miss being burnt. I think that's the word. So my school experience was a tough one, and this is just the first 3 months of my experience. So it goes a long way, like what happened December, January, February, but I don't want to make this story too long. And if you want to hear the rest of the story, feel free to let me know in the comment section. And if you've also experienced something similar, please comment in the comment section down below and we'll discuss. I feel like I also need to make a dedicated video talking about my experience applying to schools, because it wasn't easy. Even my experience getting my visa, and then also how the educational system works here and so many other things. So if you want to hear stories on those topics, please let me know in the comment section and I'll film one just like this and even go into more details. I also feel like I'm rambling because I didn't choose like a specific topic during my experience that I'm going to talk about, so I'm kind of like all over the place, so please pardon me. Something that I would say helped me through that time was I started watching a lot of movies. Yeah, I found that whenever I saw a movie, like everything in time just freezes. Like nothing bothers me at that point. I'm always so happy and lost in the movie. But when the movie is over, like all my problems comes rushing. It kind of felt like I jumped into a river, not knowing how deep, expecting to land on my 2 feet. But fam, I was sinking. Like I was struggling at first, but later I got a hang of it and I started floating. One time I even called my friend Jennifer. I was like, because she had graduated before me. I was like, babes, you didn't tell me this how it was, though. Like, why? She was like, as Misha told me back then, I wouldn't have understood. And I think, yeah, I wouldn't have understood. So I'm telling you now, and I'm sure you won't understand unless you've experienced something similar. So please try to understand what I'm saying. I remember before I was like, when I come here, I'll get a job, work, make extra money. I didn't even have time for anything. I didn't have time for myself. Like, I remember the hair I came here with, I made it in August. I took it out in December. Guys, please don't try it. Half of my hair went away with that weave as I took it off. And I don't even know why I did that. I think I was just scared of the fact that combing my hair or trying to fix my hair or even brushing a wig would take away from my resting time. And honestly, at that point, I just told myself, like, this period of school, you're going to let yourself go. And I let myself go. So I'm sure a lot of people thought I was having fun here. No, I was not having fun. I was crying most of the time. It was hard. I wasn't having fun. I wouldn't say that my school experience was fun. It was not fun. It was horrible. Like horrible in the sense that I struggled, not like the system was horrible. So if you want to hear the rest of the story, let me know in the comment section. If you guys have ever experienced anything similar to this, let's discuss in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share this video, like, and also comment. And most importantly, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.